Hi, I'm Michael. This is my Tesla Model 3 that I've had for about 6 weeks, and we've been waiting for it for just about 2 years since Tesla originally let people put reservations down. The first question people always ask is, what's the range on the car? And Tesla Model 3, the long-range version that we have, the range is 310 miles, which is more than we drive on any typical day. People often ask where the batteries are located, and they're underneath the floor. They go from right under the front wheels all the way to the back wheels. How much do the batteries cost to replace? I have no idea how much it costs to replace a Tesla battery because I don't know of anyone that's actually had to replace one. Tesla batteries are made to last, and the long-range battery that we have is guaranteed to last at least 120,000 miles. But tests have revealed that the battery could last up to 500,000 miles without significant degradation. Do I worry about the battery catching fire? No. Do you worry about sitting on top of 15 gallons of explosive liquid? Because hundreds of gasoline cars catch fire every day, but those don't typically make the news. For some reason, in the rare event that a Tesla catches fire, it makes big news, but I don't worry about it. How and where do you charge? We can charge anywhere that there's an electric plug of almost any type, but we mostly charge at home. A regular 110 plug, like you all have all over your house, can add about 5 miles of range per hour that it's plugged in. This would work fine if you drove about 50 miles or less per day, as it takes about 10 hours to add about 50 miles. A higher power plug, such as the one you'd have for an electric range or an electric dryer, can add about 20 miles of range per hour. And this would also work fine for almost anyone, as you could go from 0 to 310 miles of range in about 12.5 hours. There's also EV charging stations, which are hardwired that can add even more range per hour. We wanted a high power plug, but didn't have one near where we park in our carport, so an electrician was going to be needed. We opted to have our electrician run a very high power 100 amp line into a hardwired Tesla wall connector. This lets us add about 45 miles of range per hour. And since the carport is exposed, it's hardwired and nobody can steal our equipment. So I'll show you how to plug it in. To plug in the charger, it's very simple. You just press the little button while you're up next to the car. The charge port opens and you just stick it in. The little light turns green to indicate that it's charging. Tesla also has charging stations called superchargers, and these are located along most interstates and are spaced out about every 2 hours apart. A supercharger lets you put about 80% of the battery in about 30 minutes. So instead of stopping for gas and a bite to eat and a bathroom stop, we now stop for a charge and a bite to eat and a bathroom stop. And when you use the Tesla navigation, the car is automatically going to determine at which supercharger you should stop, at what battery rate you'll have when you get there, and how long you should charge before you either continue your journey to the next supercharger or to your final destination. What about the screen? Is it distracting or hard to use? No, it's not at all distracting or hard to use. The speedometer is in the top left corner in really huge numbers, and the map is ginormous, and it's just like when you get into a rental car and you have to learn, where is the button, because this is not the brand that I'm used to turn on my air conditioner or to turn on my radio or what have you. Same thing in this car. Once you learn where the things are in the screen, whether it's your music or your phone, or you want to turn on your heated seats or adjust the air conditioning, you learn it, and it takes a few minutes and then you have it down. So it's not difficult at all. People ask if there's a lot of storage room, and yes, Model 3 has a very large trunk. Plenty of room to store things you don't want.
Help!
Also, since there's no gas tank, there's an extra storage space down where a gas tank would be, so there's a ton of room. There's also another trunk in the front because there's no engine. How do the door handles work? The door handles are flush with the car. They remind me of a hockey stick. You just push on the fat part, and the skinny part becomes a handle. Is it true that there's no keys to a Model 3? Yes, that's true. There's either a key card about the size of a credit card, or you use your phone. For the key card, you just touch it against the B-pillar, and the door unlocks. For your phone, you can just press the lock button to lock or unlock the car. Along with locking and unlocking the car, with your phone app you can also set the climate control, and you can turn it on remotely. And that will start the air conditioning or the heating, whatever is necessary to get it to your selected temperature. You can also adjust the temperature up or down using the app. Are electric cars slow, like a golf cart? No, electric cars, and the Model 3 especially, are not slow. Model 3 can go from 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds, and it has instant torque, so it takes off like a rocket. What about maintenance? There's very little maintenance. You have no oil changes, there's no transmission, there's no engine to wear out, and the motors have been reportedly designed to last up to 1 million miles. And there's so few moving parts in a Tesla that things just don't wear out, except for the tires from all the instant torque. What about the self-driving? Tesla cars are not fully autonomous self-driving vehicles. They do have an option for autopilot, which is a driver assist feature that keeps the car within the lane lines and manages the speed and keeps a safe distance to the cars ahead. But this is an expensive feature. It's $5,000, and it's really designed to work well on well-marked highways, not surface streets. We didn't see this as being something that we would use on a regular basis, so we opted not to get it. However, it's software, so we can always add it later if we desire. Is it true that car features can be changed? Because most of the car's functions are handled via the screen, and this is all software, it can be changed at any time. Tesla sends over-the-air software updates to the car on occasion to improve existing features or add new features based on customer feedback. What other kind of car gets better over time? Only Tesla, as far as I know. And people ask, do we like it? Are we happy with it? Yes, we love our Model 3. It was well worth the wait. How and where do you charge? We can work fine if you only drove about 50 miles or less per day. He's fine.